Hey, what's going on, guys? So, we're in a different part of the house here. Figured I'd sit in my chair for this video. This is going to be an update for the Roulette video about the martingale or modified martingale system. A lot of comments on that. Very interesting. The whole discussion of probability and the math that's involved with the martingale system and, you know, betting in general, that whole thing. I just want to make an update video. There's a lot more information to talk about. All right. So where do I start? Let me start off by saying that that was the most hated video I've ever had on the channel by far. Like literally the most thumb down, excuse me, ratio to views for anything I've ever posted. I posted for 16 years, every single day. Every single day, 9 out of 10 people who watch the video like it, right? I've had some bombs before, like my video, Hitler wasn't too bad of a guy, hear me out. If you missed that one was pretty rough. My proof the earth is flat, that video didn't do too well, a lot of thumbs down on that one. The men are superior to women, I think that one was pretty bad. I can't continue with these jokes. Clearly I don't have videos like that. Come on. And when I post a video, I've never said, hey, you know what, I hope this one stinks, I hope everyone hates it. That's obviously never a thought of mine. I share stuff. I actually don't even think of like, hey, this one's gonna get a lot of views, this one's not gonna get views, this one, you know, is gonna be controversial, this one's not. Like I film stuff, I talk occasionally, and I post it. That's it. It's really that simple. I give less thought about it than you might imagine. And there's one keyboard warrior that's gonna be like, well, of course, Jeff, I know, because of your horrible production quality. Yes, thank you for noticing. I've never changed. The fact that I've never changed what I do here was both a blessing as well as a curse. It's the biggest curse because I didn't adapt. As, you know, things change, like certain content I couldn't do. You know, I could have started to do other content that was popular. You can literally study like what gets views and try to reach and strive for those, viral videos and viral content. Drama sells, that's always true. But I don't like drama. You know, I'm like every other human, it's interesting. Like I'll lurk in the back, but I don't want to be like on the stage. I don't want to be the drama. I just want to hear the drama, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's that. By the way, I just got out of the shower. If my face is a little red, I scrub the hell out of my face. I get dry skin on my face. So like, when I'm in the shower, I'm scrubbing. When I first come out, I look like Freddy Krueger sometimes. But anyway, so let me start off this video very simply, the same way I start off the other video with, number one, I'm not an expert. Some of you know this. Some of you don't know that, but I'm telling you, I am not an expert. I don't have a lot of gambling experience. Why even talk about gambling stuff, Jeff? Because I'm sharing what I do. That's why I posted the first video. But I am not an expert. I don't have gambling experience like that. And I'm not telling you what to do. Let me make that very clear. Just like the first video, it's not a suggestion, hey, do this. I know some people got really upset. And it's like, I can't believe you're promoting gambling. Not purposely. I'm not trying to promote gambling. But I'm also not trying to promote, spending all your money on knives. No one ever says that in my knife videos. Like, hey man, you should really stop doing those knife reviews because like, there's guys who like should be paying the electric bill or paying their child support, but instead they bought that brand new knife you showed them. It's viewed differently. Obviously there's guys who spend way too much money on knives, gear, guns, whatever. Those are hobbies. But they're fun because they're called hobbies, not addictions. There's definitely people addicted to gear. It's like no matter how many knives, you just need more. Like, hello, guilty. I literally have thousands of videos of knives. Like, who needs thousands of knives? No one. Who wants thousands of knives? Well, guilty again. And maybe a couple of you watching. Because I like the experience of knives, but some people like the experience of trying to win money, right? The experience of having sex with as many people as possible before they die. The experience with doing lots of drugs. That's certainly, people like the experience from drugs. I hear it's really, really nice. Pick an addiction. That's what it's about, right? Enjoying those experiences. The difference between an addict and a hobbyist is, number one, the hobby itself is not self-destructing. It doesn't hurt your health or the people around you, and you don't get desperate for things. Like, I don't know anyone who gave oral sex for a knife, you know, as far as I know. Maybe that's a thing in the custom world. Those things can get expensive, or, you know, traded sexual favors for stuff like that. But anyway, I'm veering off the topic here. I did want to just make it very clear, I'm not an expert, and my battery thing's flashing, so I have to change the battery. I'll be right back. All right, take two, new battery, because I know this says potential for going on a long time. So, yeah, let me just jump into the whole thing, right? So, if you didn't see the first video, I made a video. I talked about, hey, I went to the casino and I tried this thing I came up with. Turns out it's not my original idea. Well, it's my idea, but it wasn't an original thought. A lot of people thought this way. It's a known strategy, and I talked about it. I talked about the modifications that I did to it, and a lot of the response, besides, hey, why are you making gambling videos? That's not good. And the concern for me, you know, starting an addiction, which, thank you, I mean, I appreciate the concerns, but I'm not addicted. If I had a gambling addiction, if you saw my last video about gambling, I won $1,000 on a scratch-off ticket. I would still be chasing that. I have not bought a scratch-off ticket for myself since. Not one. It's been months. I bought 2 scratch-off tickets for birthday cards. That was it. I haven't scratched a scratch-off. So actually, before I get into this, let me tell you a little history about my gambling experiences. They've all been great. When I gamble, I win. I don't always win. I know that sounds stupid and cocky, and that would even upset people just by saying, like, hey, when I gamble, I always win, you know. That sounds stupid. It sounds very stupid, because there's people who gamble a lot and lose a lot, and then they get pissed off like, well, you don't win, or they want to just kind of, I don't know, like, rain on your parade, I suppose, because there's jealousy there, naturally. Hey, I always lose. Why do you win? Screw you. Let me dive in deeper. And by the way, I hope people like wait to the end of the video to comment, because I might be saying things that you're commenting about, you know. I know you're not going to listen to that. You're already commenting. But I prefer if you heard me out completely before you started making comments. But that's okay. You do you. That's all on you. You're allowed to comment when you want. That's, I mean, your participation in these videos, right? So I don't want to take that away from you. You do what you want. So my experience has been fantastic. That's just how it is. Scratch-off tickets, and I said once in a blue moon, which no one believed me, because they think, well, if you won $1,000, you probably buy them all the time, and you've lost thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't have money to do that. I wish I did. I wish I could just blow a bunch of my lottery, a bunch of money, but I can't. So when I say that, like, I really mean that. I have no skin in the game to lie. Does that make sense? Like, I have nothing to benefit by lying about my gambling, you know, I wouldn't say traditions, but my gambling, what's the word? Process, I suppose, right? So, well, occasionally, I guess is the word, I'll spend 10 bucks or 5 bucks or $20 on a scratch-off ticket. And I've won them, in the last few years anyway, more than I've lost them. It's not often. I'm not talking about thousands of dollars. I'm talking about an annual process of buying scratch-off tickets. Maybe, like, this is a guesstimate, maybe I spent 150 bucks, maybe $100, and I've won $200, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not significant. It's not like, oh, I always win $100. No, it's not like that. It's like, if I buy a $10 ticket, I might win a scratch-off ticket, like a free scratch-off ticket from that, or 20 bucks. Like, I got my money back, or maybe get something a little bit, you know, in addition to that. I've won $30 and $40 on $10 scratch-off tickets. So it's not significant. It's not like these large amounts. Like, people automatically assume the most extreme cases. Like, I'm just buying scratch-off tickets and just constantly winning. It's not like that. I've lost, but it averages out to a little bit more, right? I've gained a little bit more than I've lost. And again, some people are watching this thinking, oh no, you're delusional, you don't remember all the times you've lost. That's fine, you can think that. But I'm just telling you, I've had pretty decent success with scratch-off tickets. I don't get them that often. It's sounding way more than it is. I promise you that. I've tried sports betting. Now, I tried sports betting when there was a, let's say, guaranteed win. Now, how can that be possible? How can they guarantee you a win? Well, I'm going to go back in history a little bit. When the Super Bowl rolled around, I forget which Super Bowl it was, 4 or 5 years ago, something along those lines. They had in the, different vendors, I don't know what you call it, sports betting companies, I suppose. Like, you have DraftKings and you have, what's the other one? The other big one, I forget. But there's a bunch of them now. Those places would offer promotions. Hey, if you bet $5 on the Super Bowl and your team wins, we're going to give you $300 or $200 in free bets, right? It gets you to get on their platform, and then you start betting and you lose and you want to get your money back. So they make a lot of money by turning people into gambling addicts, right? That's why they're giving you free, hundreds of dollars worth of stuff if your team wins. So half the people lose automatically. What ended up happening was 2 different people did this. I'm trying to think of the other one. What the hell is it? They're blue. There's DraftKings, and the other big one is, I can't think of it. Maybe it'll come out. But they both did a similar promotion. $5 for credits. Okay. So I bet $5 on one team to win on this platform and $5 for the other team to win on that platform, so I can't lose. And that's what happened. The Super Bowl actually happened, which means one team won and one team lost. So on one platform, I lost $5. On the other platform, I won the credits. And I ended up randomly betting on the Winter Olympics. And I won $500 on betting on, it was the U.S. men's skiing, downhill skiing. That's it. It was like 13 people or something. So I had a 1 in 13 chance of winning, and I did. And because of the amount of money I put onto that U.S. skier, I won. In addition, I also won, I bet on, it was a Winter Olympics hockey. It was China versus Canada. And I thought, like, come on. Canada owns hockey, right? How is the Chinese Olympic team going to beat the Canadian Olympic team in hockey? And I was right. The Canadian hockey team kicked their butt. It was like 5-1 or something, I forget. So I won with that too. So collectively I won like $500. That was it. I didn't keep sports betting. I cashed out, I sent it to my bank account, I took the cash out, I paid some bills with it. That's it. It was that simple. So now my sports betting history is 100% profit. I love it, right? I lost $5, I won 500, right? So what ended up happening was the Super Bowl rolled again, this previous Super Bowl, and between, again, another promotion, my wife opened an account and she bet for one team. I opened an account, I bet for the other team. It didn't matter who won, we still won money. Now, I forget, if one team won, I would have won like $60 profit because how we did it. And then, if the other team won, we won like $120. And we won the $120. That was it. So like my sports betting has been phenomenal because I rarely ever do it and I happen to win. Right? This goes with other things. I mentioned in a comment, I did a horse race thing where I was at a church and they showed old horse races. They were random from like the 70s, so people couldn't possibly remember who won. And it was just to raise the money from the church. And I won with that too. I spent like, I think it was $1 or 25 cents, that's what it was, 25-cent games, 25-cent bets. And I made out ahead. That was my only history for sports betting, or for horse racing. It's funny, my dad keeps mentioning too, he wants to go to a regular horse race, and I do, I would love to go, spend a couple bucks, just have a fun time with Dad. What else is there? Raffle tickets, I'll say, like, I've bought raffle tickets before, maybe $10 worth my entire lifetime. I've never won anything like a door prize, 50-50 tickets, things like that. I literally, like, here's $1, all right, I'll take a 50-50 to win something. I've never won any of those, so I'm 100% down on raffle tickets. But overall, right, and then so that brings me to the most recent thing, the casinos, right? So when I went to Vegas for SHOT Show, I had just a little bit of time to gamble with my wife. The first thing I wanted to do, I walked past the roulette table and I just threw 20 bucks down on like black, whatever it was. I lost it. That was it. I walked away. It was rough for me. That was like my first like real casino experience. I'm like, $20 is just nothing, just gone. So I'm like, all right, let's go do the penny machines. And we got free drinks, and we tipped the waitress very well. So, they weren't actually free because of all the tips, but they kept bringing us our super cheap, like we were having gin and tonics, and it was like nail polish and, concentrated lime juice, but it did the trick. We were feeling good, and we won. We won money. We were up. I forget what it was. It wasn't like crazy amounts, like 50 bucks or something, 80 bucks, whatever it was. And we left winners, and it felt fantastic. So at this point in my life, we did great at casinos. Our entire casino history is fantastic. We've never lost, right? But it's based on one trip with very, very little budget. So when I say never lost, obviously I'm not remembering thinking about that roulette win, but it wasn't enough to be an overall loss. Does that make sense? So we were talking about it. We just think, we were playing these games on our phones. We're like, oh, it's cool. Let's go to the casino. It was like a total impromptu thing. Went down to the casino and left with more money we came with collectively. Now, as you saw from the video, or maybe you didn't, but I lost $50 overall. I got down to like 90 bucks. I did this whole thing with the roulette. I scraped all the way back to $250 doing this. I thought, fantastic. My wife, so I was down 50. My wife won, I think it was 190 or something over what she originally brought. So we left up collectively. We were 100. I forget exactly how much she won. I know it was 190 total. That includes my 50, right? So like 240, whatever, is what she was up. So you deduct my 50 from it. You get it? But we left winners. That felt like a win to me. We left with more money we came with. We had an awesome time for like 6 or 7 hours. We left at midnight. It was wonderful. It was just a really fun time. It's always fun when you win. Now, it wasn't fun when I was losing, It wasn't fun when she lost, some hands in a row, but then you win some money back, and it's fun. It's a good time. If you go to the casino and you lose all your money, it sucks. It's horrible. You don't like it. Most people don't want to go back. Some people will go back and they'll lose again. Maybe they go every year and they lose every year. It's just what it is, So, but now you have to remember, right? So picture this whole picture. I have a fun time gambling. That's overall my experience in life with all of my gambling thing. Like, I generally have luck, I suppose. It's a little bit of luck, maybe a little bit of skill. Who knows? That's debatable. So now I get back from the casino. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm going to talk about this a little bit, I posted the video. I didn't even know at that time that there was a name for what I was doing. And someone had commented, right? They commented, and I went, what's that? So I looked it up, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, that is what I'm doing. So, okay, it's not my original idea. That's fine. I didn't really think like a lot into it. Like, sometimes people might assume that like I might just be like sitting and pondering things for hours. I'm not like that. I just kind of move on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sitting there really getting into it, right? So I heard the word martingale. I looked it up. Oh, okay, duh. It's not an original idea that if you lose, you just double your bet so you win your money back. Like, okay, cool. So now I make my video. I get all this hate, right? Everyone's like, Jeff, you're an idiot. First of all, who do you think you are? Like, because that's maybe how it came across, is like, hey, I beat the odds in Vegas, listen to me. That was not my intention at all. It's almost laughable. It would be laughable if I thought that, if I didn't know so many people were so seriously upset by it. So first of all, I apologize if you got upset by it. That was certainly not my intention, right? I'm just sharing my experiences. Number one, I'm not preaching, here's what you have to do to win money. I'm not trying to create, gambling addicts. I'm not trying to get people who have a gambling addiction to get back on the horse, so to speak. I mean, it was just me sharing something. I was excited about it, right? So then the comments are pouring in, right? And then what kept getting repeated over and over and over again is the gambler's fallacy. Now, if you don't know the gambler's fallacy, I do recommend looking it up. That's what I did. First time I saw it, okay, I Googled it, gambler's fallacy. Oh, it makes sense. And the idea is that you have a perception that you could beat the odds. Math is math, right? So these games, there are certain percentages of possibilities of things happening. You can't alter math. You can't just come up with something that beats the math. Math and science, those are definitive things. Those are constants. They don't change, right? As far as we know. Now, what's interesting is math and science does actually change if we learn something new. That's always possible. But that doesn't matter for this video and this discussion. So, all right, so now we're at the point where like I'm arguing with people. And by the way, like I do have to apologize. Sometimes when I have comments and like I feel like I'm being attacked or I'm being defensive, I get like a little douchey. I apologize for that. I don't mean to. It's just, I guess, maybe human nature to just like, if someone's like, hey, you know, you're an idiot, and you're like, screw your mom, you know? It's just, that's a natural thing. So I don't mean to be that way. I try to be mature and have discussions, not arguments. But I don't know, maybe I have a short fuse. It's just easy for me to just, because I'm getting attacked. Like, you guys might not realize, maybe you do, but like every video I've ever put up ever is still watchable. So like when I turn my computer on and I look at comments, I can see comments from like, someone just said like, hey, you got big fat hands, you fatty, you know? Like, it sounds so stupid, but like I'll see those like every single day. There's hate. I read hate every single day for the most random stuff, videos I've done years ago. So like my mindset when I'm, okay, let me just check comments, and I see, hey, I hope you die, like literally a comment like that. And then I read your comment 2 seconds later, like, no, you're totally wrong. I might not be in the best state of mind to have a mature discussion with you. Does that make sense? So that's something you guys may not realize, is the whole situation when I'm replying to comments sometimes. Sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes I'll read some really nice comments, whatever, then I go to like the latest video and I read those comments and someone is argumentative or negative, and I'm more cool about it, you know, and I'm like, hey, listen, hey, here's my perspective, or okay, you could feel like that. You know what I mean? It's just different. So my attitude, my emotional state, if you will, is very varied depending on when and how I see your comments. So I don't mean to be defensive. Sometimes that's justified. Sometimes it's okay. I'm being attacked, so I'm being defensive. What it probably came across as, which may have been true at the time, is someone's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, well, hey, it's working. I do know what I'm talking about. So since these ongoing discussions, these back and forths, I watched dozens of videos on Gambler's Fallacy. I completely understand it. On the martingale strategy, as well as alterations to that, like known alterations to that. And I understand it fully. There is a video, I'm trying to think I think the channel is Numberphile, and it's like a mathematician. It's like it's a British bloke, at least he sounds like it by his accent. And he goes in depth. I am going to post that link to that video at the top of the description box. I highly recommend you watch it. It goes into the martingale system more in depth than any other video possible, because this is like a mathematician. This is like someone who understands math like way up here. It's hard to even follow. Like, I had to kind of like pause and like rewatch a couple times, a couple parts anyway, because it's very advanced math. All right, now you might watch it and go, oh no, it's simple math. You might be on a better level with math, okay? I know 2 + 2, right? I could do that kind of math. I could do mental math. This is just more advanced, but it's really like the math theory behind things. So, the one constant, and part of the gambler's fallacy, if you're talking about roulette specifically, okay, there's black and red. If you're betting on one color, what throws a wrench in the gears is the green spot, the 0, or that's in European roulette, or if you play American roulette, there's a 0 and a 00. So it's not really a 50-50% chance in any roulette game, because no roulette game that I know of that you can gamble on has no green. So it's not just black and red. It's black, red, and green. The green cuts a little bit into the 50-50. So it's more like 47%. So it's really like 47% chance you're going to get black, 47% chance you're going to get red, right? It's kind of split though. There's a good possibility it's going to be red or black. And when it isn't, obviously it's green. But that comes up way more, or way less times, excuse me, than red or black. You with me? So the argument that people are constantly saying, trying to like really beat in my head, Jeff, listen, it doesn't matter what happened before. Each individual spin is an independent event, and the odds of it landing on black, let's say, if you bet on black, is 47%. Every single time, it doesn't matter if there's a million reds, it doesn't mean that there's a better chance of becoming black. Now that's a true statement. And what makes this whole thing really fascinating and really interesting is that in addition to that statement, you have, and it's hard for me to explain this in the right terms, because you have like probability, chance, odds. These are all words that have specific meanings. And I don't know how to express myself properly to explain that it's unlikely, even though each individual spin is an independent action, an independent event, that a row of 10 reds before it make it less possible for it to be black next. And I know people already, you're getting pissed off. I know, I could feel it. I could feel it through the screen. You're like, Jeff, you just don't get it. No, I do get it. Trust me, I get it. If you watch this mathematician, okay, what it boils down to is in roulette, if you want to double your money, let's say you start with $100. Okay, actually, before I even get there, let me explain this. When you use this martingale system, whatever your betting unit is, whatever your betting increment is how much you're going to win every time you win. So if you're making $1 bets and you win, you're going to double your money. You're going to get your original dollar back and you're going to profit $1. If you're making $50 bets and you win, each time you win, you're going to make $50. But there's a very distinctive number. If you want to double your money, if you put down $100 overall, you put $100 in a machine, let's say, and you make $1 bets, right? If you want to double your money, it doesn't matter. This scales on every single bet amount. So if you make $1 million bets, but you want to make $1 million profit, you want to double your money, it makes no difference than if you're making 10-cent bets. Let me make that very, very clear, right? So if you want to double your money, you have a 37% chance of doubling your money using the martingale system. Now, that being said, there's factors here. So you can't lose in the martingale system if, number one, you have unlimited money. So no matter how many times you lose in a row, you can win it back with that next bet. That's not true. No one has unlimited money. In fact, most people have very limited money. But even if you did, even if you're a millionaire, or it's not really unlimited, but you have enough to probably win every time, right? You can always back that loss. Even if you could, there are caps at casinos, right? There's limits. Now, yes, there's high roller rooms where you could bet $30,000. You could bet $100,000 or $1 million on roulette. But there's still a cap. It just doesn't go on forever. So the casino has the edge in that, number one, they know that there is a limit. There's a ceiling for your betting. So if you lose enough, you're going to get to a point where you can't bet enough to win your money back. That is true in casinos. So that's an important factor. That's one of the big stakes that go right through the heart of this entire strategy. So what I was doing was winning. So how is it possible that each individual event is an independent act? It has no bearing on what's before, but I was using information of what previously happened in order to place my bet to have an advantage. Right? Am I some kind of like new age card reader that discovered something new? No, of course not. I'm just a dude, probably confused, confused guy. But why am I winning? Why is it that when there's 6 or 7 reds in a row and I bet black, I win way more often than I lose? What are the chances that in a almost 50% chance to lose, I just don't? There's a couple more factors involved here. Number one, I lost previously. You know what I'm saying? So this martingale system, and again, number one, let me say, I'm not pitching this. Don't do this. Okay? I'm not like promoting it. I'm not trying to defend it. I'm trying to understand it and explain it. That is it. Please don't do this. But I'm telling you at the same time, this is what I've done. This is what I've learned. And here's what I'm going to do, because I've learned more about it and I'm still going to do it, but I keep altering how I'm doing it to make sure that I don't fall on my face and lose all my money. So this is not me trying to explain how to make this better so it works for you. I'm not talking about you. You were never part of this conversation. Not in the first video, not in the second video. So understand that. I'm just explaining myself and talking because I find this very fascinating, and I'm very open to talking about it more in the comments, which I know you're going to do. So here's the thing. The reason I was winning was because I was not doubling my money. I was not trying to double my money. I was trying to win little chunks of money which is house money, profit, to blow at the slot machines and do other games for fun. Because when I'm in a slot machine and I put 50 bucks in and I slowly get down to zero and I lose it, that's a bad feeling. I don't want to lose $50. However, I have much less frustration and sadness when I lose money that was free. That's what I can say. It's like free money, right? So if you win and it's profits, I like to use the profits, right, or have to gamble with, because I'm not using my own money. If you can go to a casino and someone just hands you $1,000 to gamble with, you'd have a blast. You lose $1,000 and go home and be like, all right, fine. Or maybe you win $20,000 and be ecstatic about it, right? So the idea is not to lose your own money, it's to lose free money. So what I was doing, I was consistently winning $30, $40, $20, $70. And there were better odds. I know you're gonna argue, because you're like, no, there's no better odds because you're still 50-50 no matter what, Jeff. And I get that. And that's what's like, it's confusing, because I understand what you're saying. I accept the truth, the reality of what you're saying, and you are absolutely right. But there's more math involved than that. It doesn't end with every event is an independent event. There's still more to it, and I'm not smart enough to explain it to you. That's why I want you to watch this other guy's video, because he goes into the nitty-gritty, every single thing about this entire system, right? It's not foolproof. Now, all that being said, I tried to replicate this. I tried to double my money, and I lost. So, I'm going to tell you that story in just a moment here. I do plan on going back to the casino soon with my wife, because we had an awesome time. Now, we talked about it. It's not going to be a repetition. It's not we always go to the casino. We're going to go there. Either we're going to win again or we're going to lose our money. Might lose a little, might lose all that we bring. Who knows? But we already decided that this is not going to be a regular thing, because number one, we don't have time for it. And number two, even if we do win, we understand eventually you lose. That's why the saying, the house always wins, is very true. If you play enough and long enough, you will always lose in the end. You can get lucky and win $150,000 your first day. But if you go back every day, they're just going to absorb it back like a sponge, and you'll have nothing. That is true. That's why there are gambling addicts, because they never actually win enough to be happy, because they keep losing. So let me be super, super clear. You're not going to beat the house. By beating the house, what that means is you go a couple times, you happen to get lucky, and you stop gambling. That's it. That's how you beat the house. You don't keep playing. So that's my goal. That's everyone's goal, I think, is to just, win some money, and that's it. You don't give it back. You just keep it and spend it. So there's a couple more things to this, right? Now let me tell you the story of what happened. So I got an email. It was like a promotion or something for the casino for one of these apps, right? It wasn't DraftKings. What the hell was it? I can't think of it. I had a few of them at some point. I deleted a couple of them, so I don't remember the names of them. There's a bunch of sports betting apps for your phone and companies and things. I don't know if it was like MGM or something, whatever it was. They gave me a free $3. So I said, you know what I'm going to do with this $3? I'm going to bet roulette on my phone. But this is real money now. This is not fake money. It's not a game. This is something that's supposed to be regulated. I don't think it is. I think it is kind of rigged, but whatever. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spend this $3. And I'm going to see if I can turn this $3 into $100. That was my goal. That's not doubling your money. That is a lot more than doubling. And so I can't do that with $1 bets. So I decided to do the lowest denomination, which was 20 cents. So I started off with a $3 balance, and I made 20-cent bets using my modified version of the martingale system. And I won, and I won, and I won. I turned $3 into $10, and then $30, and then $45, and then $62, and then $81. I got up to $84. $84. And you know what happened after that? I lost it all. Because I got into a string of black, red, black, red, black, red, and I stuck to my rules I created of betting on the last color. So it came up red, I bet black. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, it came up red, I'm confusing myself. Came up red, I bet red. Next one, black, crap, I bet black. Next one, red, crap, I bet red. And it went back and forth for a long enough string where I did not have enough money to keep winning it back. So I ended up like whatever it was, 40 bucks, whatever the math worked out to be, my last bet, and that was it. I went down to like 10-cent balance. So if you play long enough and you use the system long enough, there's going to be a time where you lose everything. Now the whole deal is that that could happen fairly quickly. It doesn't mean you have to play for hours and hours and hours, hundreds and hundreds of games. It can happen at any time, right? The chances, I still believe, and I could be wrong here, but on smaller increments, you have a fairly good chance, that's the word, maybe luck, to win a couple bucks. It's been successful. It's been so consistently successful with small amounts of money. If you sit there, you put $100 in a machine and play roulette, you're not going to make, you're almost impossible to make $1,000. It's just probably not going to happen. You're going to have enough of a string that you lose, where you just don't have enough money to make up for it. You cannot make that money back. Now, I'm not saying it's guaranteed on a small scale either. Nothing is guaranteed, obviously. And going back to what you guys are saying, which is completely true, that every event is independent. So the way you basically lose is by being unlucky enough to eventually, or greedy enough to eventually hit that losing streak that's above your budget. That's why it doesn't work on the grand scheme of things. So we go back to that 37%. If you want to double your money, you have a 37% chance of doing that. You have $100. You go to a casino, $100. You could sit and you can grind it out with the martingale system. You have a 30% chance of turning that $100 into $200 with like dollar bets. But you have roughly a 40% chance of doubling your money right off the bat with one game by just taking your full $100 and putting it right on one color. So at the end of the day, it's not really an advantage. Even though it still works for me, it works for anyone who tries it in the short term, eventually it won't work. You know what I mean? So like, I'm going to go back to the casino and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to attempt this again. And of course I'll make videos, you guys will see it. I wonder if I could wear a GoPro, that'd be easier. Maybe GoPro footage, we'll see. We'll see about that. But it's just a matter of time. And that's where the luck comes in, where how many times can I just go there and turn $1 or turn, you know, have a $100 budget, but really turn dollar bets into a $40 profit, let's say. That's a good round number, 40 bucks. How often can I do that before I'm going to hit that, oh, just bad luck right off the bat, and I just can't. Now, one way you can prevent losing all your money is by having, and again, this is a theoretical thing. There's no guarantees for anything. But if you have a cutoff in your minds, let's say that $40, that special number, $40. Because I consistently made $40 profit using this system on a $1 bet on a roulette machine in a casino a bunch of times. What if I forgot my train of thought. What the hell was I even going to say? I totally forgot. I don't know where I was going with that. I had like a complete blank. Yeah, I'm going to try this again, is what I'm saying. I'm going to go back and I'm going to attempt this again, but not push those limits. You know what I'm saying? Hope. Oh, that's what I was saying. Okay, it came back to me. See? Full circle here. What I was saying is that if I make a cap for myself for $40, so let's say I know I have, anyway, doesn't mean I can, but I have made $40 chunks in about 20 minutes. 20, 25 minutes, I can make $40 with $1 bets. You win $1, you know, you spend 5 losses, 5 rolls to get your money back because you lost, and then you win $1 again. So I'm piecing it together. Literally, if I won $40, that's because I have to wait for 40 wins. But it might take me 200 losses to get to that 40 win mark. Does that make sense? So let's say 25 minutes of my time. I make the 40 bucks, right? If I get to a bet where it goes up to 40, like it's doubling, right? It's $1, it's $2, it's $4, it's $8, you know, whatever. When I get up to that, it would be, I guess, $32, whatever. When I get to a limit, I have to say, okay, I'm going to just accept this loss and start this process over. That's different. I can't lose my full $100 if I don't bet $100. Does that make sense? So the reason you lose in the martingale is because you don't have enough budget to keep making up your losses. But if you don't keep chasing the loss, you don't keep trying to make it up, if you accept it at any point in that line, you can definitely lower the chances of losing all your money. Now, there's nothing saying I can't stop at $32 and then have that happen 3 times in a row and lose almost all my $100, right? That's possible too. I feel like it's unlikely, but every spin is an independent event and anything can happen, right? So yeah, there's more to that strat. Like it seems stupid to a lot of you because you're like, okay, you're just, you're not accepting that there's no advantage here. I'm still going to say there's an advantage there. We'll see. I'll put it to the test. But even if I put it to test and I win, and I consistently win at a casino over and over and over and over again, number one, it's not guaranteed, and at any point in time, I could just lose. It's just what I'm saying is that I'm willing to lose the $30 bet and start over and put in the time it takes to just make a $40 profit, walk over to a slot machine, have fun in a slot machine on the house, so to speak, so that when I leave that casino, there's a better chance of me not leaving with less money than I came. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. This can all just go sideways, and it's just bad luck strings after one after another. But that's how, there's only 2 ways I've been losing, really. It's when it switches, red, black, red, black, red, black, or if I get the same color for a long enough time where my budget can't make up for the loss. You know what I mean? Those are the 2 major reasons that I'm losing money. So it was interesting with those 20-cent bets. I was amazed. I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna get to 100 and then bail. But it was just too much. If I left at 80 bucks, I would have had $80. It would have worked out great. I would have had a great story, right? But I continued with it. So like I said, in the end, the longer you go, just the more of a chance. And again, I know you're thinking, dude, what are you talking about? You don't get it. You got a thick skull. There is no, like, everything before doesn't matter. I still kind of think it matters. I'm stubborn as hell. I know, I'm stubborn. But if it didn't matter, and every single independent event was always going to be 47% chance of winning or losing, then why is a very, very smart mathematician throwing out this 30, which he literally shows step by step how he got to a 37% chance of specifically doubling your money, regardless of your bet size, in roulette using the martingale system. That is a mathematical truth that's not arguable because math. You know what I mean? So how do they coexist? How is it you have a 30% chance of doubling your money when there's a 47% chance that every single time you try to win money, you can win or lose? They're equal chances, right? 40% chance you get a win. Well, actually, it's not true. 40% chance you get a win, which means there's a 53% chance you're going to lose, because it'll come the opposite color or green. Like I said, the whole thing seems a little confusing. I accept that ultimately the end goal is a loss. Always. My question is, how do I use the best of my ability and the information I have to lessen the possibility of losing it all, right? Or minimize my losses to the point where the profits are better than the losses so that you make money. Now, by making money, it could mean $3. You could spend 5 hours on the machine and win $3. To me, that's a win. A lot of people are like, no, money is time. I'm not talking about like quitting work and just running a casino all day for a living. It's not going to pay your bills, you know what I'm saying? Unless you do something like card counting or those lines. But see, that's another thing too. Like, you can't beat the house, but there you have card counters who do it professionally, and they get kicked out of They get kicked out of casinos because the casino can't stop them. Like, you would think casinos would have different technology and or security features that would not allow card counting. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the thing called? The boot that holds the decks of cards, right? What if they just randomly swapped out the boot like every couple minutes? Wouldn't that not allow people to mathematically card count, and you wouldn't have to worry about kicking them out or worrying about them going under the radar and taking, you know, a lot of money for your casino? Seems logical to me, but that hasn't happened. Why? You're talking about very smart people and trillions of dollars on the line. Why haven't they done that? I don't really know. So there's an idea that you could beat the odds. But when it comes specifically to roulette, I'm not going to argue. You do have the same chance each and every spin as you do the next or the previous one. And the previous information, this is where we disagree, where the previous information that came up leads you to the possibilities of different odds. Even though it doesn't really. Like, how can they coexist? How can they both be true when they don't make sense? It's like saying 4 plus 4 is 8, unless there's a different altitude, and then 4 plus 4 is really 9. You're like, no, that makes no sense. That's what this whole situation is like to me, because like I understand and believe you, and I agree with you, but also don't agree at the same time somehow. I'm definitely confused. I know that this comment, yes, you're very confused, Jeff. I mean, you heard everything I said, right? How do you feel about it? Do you feel any differently about it? Watch that video. It's definitely worth a watch. Numberphile, and I forget the title of it. It would be, I mean, if you search channel Martingale, or if you just YouTube search Martingale and then Numberphile, it's with a PH, not an F. You'll probably find the video. So yeah, there's my story. I'm sticking to it. You'll see. I mean, my next, casino trip, I might say, hey, you know what? It was bad luck, or, none of this mattered, and I lost my money, and that's fine. Or I'll say I won again, which doesn't, I'm not trying to prove you wrong. Understand that. It would just be me getting lucky again, which I'm fine with. I don't care about the math. I don't care about the strategy. I just want to be lucky enough to win money, just like everyone else. So if I do that, and I get lucky, awesome. Good for me, right? So I'm trying to think of advantages. Now let's go back to the slot machines for a second, right? There are certain now this has nothing to do with this video specifically, but I do want to mention this. Something I'm going to be looking out for when I go to the casino is there's certain games, and it's the same thing where every pull on a slot machine is supposed to be equally fair. There's no advantage. If you put $100 into a machine, you're more likely to win. That means nothing at all, right? We know each independent event, the second you pull it, even when the wheels are still spinning, the machine knows the outcome already, right? That's random. We agree on that, right? However, some of the machines that rely on bonuses to pay out, so the line pay is like the symbols that come out. That's where you win money from the symbols. But if certain symbols come out where you go to a bonus game, a lot of those slot machines, the bonus game is where you make all your money. And there is a slight advantage because there's certain ways you can get to the bonus easier or with less plays or theoretically less money. And as I mentioned with those hot pot, with that game, there's 3 pots. In order to get to the bonus one, you have like a heat level, right? So if it's all the way down low, you need a lot of symbols to get it up to open the bonus round and win a bunch of money. Now, it's not to say you can't just, it's here and you can't just get, you might get 15 symbols right away, right? And then it goes and pops. Or it could be all the way here, which is what I'm saying. If I see one that's about to go, I feel like, oh, my odds are better if I sit down. But theoretically, there could be no symbols, so it never actually goes that last symbol to pop. You know what I mean? So again, that could be certainly part of the gambler's fallacy. I understand that. I don't know those machines intimately enough or have learned enough about it to know the probability of those symbols coming up in the wheels, right? I don't know. And all that stuff's digital, and I know everything's rigged. And yes, there are definitely casinos that got caught. Many casinos over many years get caught doing things to make more of a disadvantage for the players and stuff. They do cheat. It's not always cheating. Sometimes it's literally random. Sometimes it's not. There's no way for us to know for sure. You know, obviously, if people couldn't win, they wouldn't go. And casinos are overflowing with people constantly because of two things: hope and experience, right? So some people are there because they've won before and they want to win again. That's experience. It's, you know, crap luck, who knows? But a lot of people are there just with the hopes to win. Regardless of their previous experience, they just are hoping to win. And some of them do, and that's cool. Like I said, you don't have to just lose all your money at casinos. I know some people who've never gone or never think about, like, no, I'm not going to go, it's a scam. You think you're going to win, but you'll never win anything. That's not true. There are tens of thousands of people who have won more money at casinos than they've ever lost. Some people go and they win $100,000 and they never go back. I know that's not common, it's rare, but they do exist. You can absolutely go win more than you lose and just, that's it, walk away a winner. But it does come down to luck. A lot of it really is luck. And you'd like to think you have an edge in strategy because it prepares you mentally to go actually do it. Because if you weren't convinced that you had some kind of strategy and you thought, oh, it really is, like a lot of you who've never even gone, because you're convinced, like, no, it's a scam, there's no way to win. That's cool, because guess what? You'll never lose any money if you don't go to a casino. Someone actually left that comment, and I thought that was wonderful, because that is true. If you're worried about losing money, don't gamble. Do not do it, because you'll never lose money, at least not gambling. You might fall out of your pocket, or you might get your identity stolen and all your money drained out of your account. But that's not your purposeful gamble. That's the gamble of life, which you had no choice in participating in. All right, so that's it, guys. That's the end of the video. I just wanted to, you know, add to the first video, talk more about this after communicating with you guys. Sometimes this will happen where I just have more to say. By the way, I'm always learning, and there's nothing saying I can't just be completely wrong. I've been wrong many times in my life. The older I get, the more I realize that it's okay to be wrong. It's okay, because when you're wrong about something, you've now learned, and you're smarter because of it, the experience. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to keep learning about this. You know, I'm going to keep learning from experience more than anything else. I'll let you guys know. Like, if I gamble again, I know it's fun just to see what happens. So I'll try to get some more footage. When I'm there, I feel weird about filming. There's security people watching. Like, I was bouncing around going, because I was trying machines and learning about different machines. So, like, generally people go in, they'll sit like for like 2 hours, smoke a pack of cigarettes on one machine and leave, right? So security was following me around multiple times because I kept getting up and like looking at stuff. Like, I don't know if they thought maybe I was looking at other people playing, like I might be looking to rob someone or something. Who knows? But they were absolutely following me because of my newbie, I don't know, system, I suppose. Bouncing around, because that's how I was winning at some of the slots, is that first spin luck. I'm telling you, I put, you know, $5 in the machine, spin it, win maybe $7, $8, and I take my card out and pull it and go to another machine, you know. I wasn't sitting in any slot machine for any duration of time, which seemed super suspect, really. So, whatever. So, like, the reason I'm bringing it up is because I want to film more. I want to film a lot. And you can film in casinos, but, like, it just seems suspicious for some reason. You know, I'm just filming everything and talking to myself, and it's just, I don't know. I'll do it as long as I can until someone comes up and says, dude, you know, you can't do that. That's fine. Like I said, I'm a rule follower for the most part, so I don't want to get kicked out. But I'll try to get as much footage for you as possible, but also have fun. I'm not there to just, you know, make a video. I want to actually enjoy myself. And my wife, she doesn't really necessarily want to be on camera and stuff, so I'm trying to have that time with her. That's why the other video, like, there's just little clippets here and there. But we'll see. At least I could do that again, little clippets. But that's all. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome time. I meant day. I said time as if you're all going to the casino. Good luck. Good luck with your casino bets. Let me know if you frequent a casino often. What's your thing? What's your game? I know some people are like, I want to see you play craps because that's their thing, or I want you to do this or that or whatever. Everyone's got their thing. For me, it's roulette. Roulette and the slots. Not to say that can't change. I like video poker a lot, but from the machines I've seen, there's not a lot of potential. See, like, some people like to be in control. So when you pull, and I did actually like using the handles on some of them that were functional. That's just fun, going, but if you push the button, for the most part, on a slot machine, it's totally just whatever happens, happens, right? When you play video poker, you feel like you're in more control because you're winning by your own strategy. It's your smarts and intelligence that knows what to do that gives you the edge, right? Well, yes and no, I suppose. I mean, the payouts for those, it didn't make sense to me. Like, it seemed like the probability of getting a good hand was, you know, every 10 hands, and what you're winning is less than what you're putting in the first place. So it just didn't seem like there was money to be made there. I'm sure if you're a fantastic poker player and you know what cards to hold every single hand, you have an advantage. Certainly. That's not me. I know how to play poker. I know what could happen, but I'm not dialed in at all. I'm not a professional poker player, nowhere near it. So even though it's a fun game to play, same with blackjack. Like, I love blackjack. But in the long run, not for me yet. I'm not good enough to really be confident enough to sit and play and make good money. When I'm on the video games, yeah, I'm killing it. But, you know, those video games are meant for you to win. So you stay on them longer so that you see more ads, or you need money and you got to click the ads so that the people who made the app is making a bunch of money and you're trying to entertain yourself. It's different. You can't, I mean, you could practice on those games, but it's not the same experience as real life. It's not the same as someone, you know, there flipping cards in front of you, or even using a machine playing those games. So, yeah, I mean, don't get got, right? That's how they get you. Don't be got. Don't become a gambler, you know, an addicted gambler. I know some of you are really convinced that this is the beginning of the end for me, you know, and I'll be making a video, you know, a year from now going, I lost everything because I thought I had a winning roulette system. I'm telling you, I don't like losing money. And I'm playing on such a small playing field. You know what I mean? Like, if I go with 300 bucks to a casino and I lose all 300 bucks or whatever, I'm never doing that again. I'm not a dummy. I'm not convinced, like, oh, next time I'll get it. No, I'm not stupid. Not to say that addicts are stupid. They're just convinced, right? I'm not convinced that I'm going to make $1 million on it. I'm not convinced I'll make thousands of dollars on this. What I am convinced is that I'll make 40 bucks and then maybe I get lucky in a slot machine and make a couple $1,000s. That's my goal. That's what I'm hoping. So I'm not as delusional as you might think I really am. Just saying. So that's me pleading my case of sanity to you. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens next time I go. It is fun though. It's definitely fun, and it's more fun if you're winning. But even if I lose, it's a fun time for me and my wife. So it's all good. It's something different, you know. Sometimes you want to go bowling. Sometimes you want to take a walk in the park. Sometimes you want to go to the casino. And that's it. Excuse me. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. I know you guys have been staring at that hot sauce. I'm going to film that video next, so stay tuned for that. Or maybe you saw it already. I don't know the order I'm going to put these in. But that's all for now. Thank you, though. Thank you for caring about me, because there's always people who genuinely do, and they're like, hey, man, just heads up. It doesn't come across always like that to me. Sometimes it seems like an attack, but when you guys are passionate about something or emotional about something in the comments, it's because you care. Whether you like me or don't, you do care, and that does come across in the comments, and I have to be more of an adult and look at it that way. Instead of seeing it as an attack, I have to see it as, hey, you know, this person cares enough to leave this long comment, you know, trying to make sure I do the right thing. But I'm growing and learning. So that's all. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.